Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
COVID-19 still has a tight grip on the United States. And while the federal government is promising an authorized vaccine soon, the deadly virus is surging in the U.S. with record hospitalizations, including another close associate of President Donald Trump. John Lawrence reports.
Rudy Giuliani, President Trump's personal attorney, hospitalized Sunday with COVID-19, a source tells CNN.
All the folks who've been in close contact with him, have spent any meaningful amount of time with him, are at risk of contracting the infection.
The former mayor of New York admitted to Georgetown University Hospital shortly after Trump announced Giuliani was positive. Tweeted he is getting great care and feeling good.
He was in multiple states over the past week where case counts are rising, hospitalizations are rising. You know, Michigan, Georgia, Arizona, all those places have had huge surges in deaths.
California is another state seeing a record number of COVID-19 cases, more than 30,000 on Sunday. A stay-at-home order affecting about 33 million residents began Sunday night.
The trend lines we're seeing now are really disastrous. They're just heading straight up in terms of the number of cases, the number of hospitalizations. So it really is time for us to pull back on the activity and see if we can turn this thing around.
Health officials say more cases will likely lead to more hospitalizations this month, crippling many healthcare systems that are stretched thin across the country.
We're starting in the last couple of days to see the effects of the Thanksgiving surge that we've all been worried about. And I think this week we're really going to see the full effect of that.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The COVID-19 vaccine is not a magic cure for the pandemic, and it won't help much if people don't get it when it becomes available. COVID-19 specialist Amanda Decker tonight with how many people may avoid the vaccine and what we need to know about the shot.
55% of surveyed firefighters in New York City say they don't feel comfortable taking the COVID-19 vaccine once it comes out because they need more information. And they're definitely not alone. This entire process can feel extremely rushed and frightening because it's not something we've been through individually before, but it is something these drug companies and the country have dealt with in the past. In 2005, the Food and Drug Administration issued emergency use authorization for the anthrax vaccine, which is still 92.5% effective and the same vaccine we continue using today. Even though the process does feel rushed, the drug companies say that's not what happened. It typically takes about 3 years for a vaccine to go through all the proper steps, but that's because drug companies are typically focusing on dozens of projects at one time. This process was sped up to a matter of months because basically all other projects within Pfizer, Moderna, and the other drug companies were put on hold, allowing them to solely focus on the COVID-19 vaccine. Technically, the process started in July, so it's been about 6 months. But think back to 2009. That year, the H1N1 flu vaccine was developed in about 3 months. It just never had to receive emergency authorization, so it wasn't really talked about. Now, keep in mind, most of us won't be getting the vaccine for several months, and oversight will not end from federal officials, health officials, and the drug companies once the vaccines are sent out. Panels of hundreds of health experts and medical doctors will continue monitoring the progress for at least 2 years, and so far there have not been any problems. As far as efficacy or how long the immunity to COVID-19 will last once you've gotten the vaccine, we know that lasts at least 3 months and in some cases even longer. But remember, because COVID is so new, researchers still have to watch and wait and see when that protection might wear off. Now, this will not be a mandatory vaccine. For example, mumps, measles, and rubella are required to be vaccinated against for kids to attend school. That won't be the case with the COVID-19 vaccine, at least not anytime soon. Now, from an international standpoint, certain professions may require it down the road, such as frontline healthcare workers and others who travel frequently. But the bottom line from the World Health Organization this morning, getting the vaccine is the best idea. One member of the WHO is saying, quote, balancing personal responsibility and what you are willing to do to protect yourself and those around you with what needs to become law is the key, because if we ask ourselves, am I doing the right thing? Typically, you get the right answer without any mandates or government requirement. I'm COVID-19 specialist Amanda Decker reporting.
The Lighthouse Baptist Church sued Chemung County late last month, but now it appears a resolution has been met outside the courtroom. Matt Kleinditz joins us now with the latest from the embattled church.
Good evening. Less than 2 weeks after the Horseheads Church filed suit against the county, a new settlement was reached which allows church services to resume and effectively puts an end to the 3-month saga. According to County Attorney M. Haider Hussein, the Lighthouse Baptist Church in Chemung County negotiated an out-of-court settlement. This comes after the church filed suit against the county, claiming their 1st, 5th, and 14th Amendment rights were violated when the health department closed the church on September 8th. Under the new settlement, the Lighthouse Baptist Church can open effective immediately under the condition that they follow state and local health guidelines. Horseheads is still in the orange zone, meaning the church may only operate services at 25% capacity. In a statement released by the church, Pastor Richard Hack stated that they took a stand for religious freedom and are satisfied with the result. Reporting from Corning, Matt Kleinden's Big Fox WYDC.
New coronavirus restrictions go into effect in New York and New Jersey on Friday. This as the state prepares to deal with a second wave of the pandemic. There's also a grim sign in Connecticut where hospitalizations have doubled over the past 2 weeks. As John Diaz reports, many New York City parents fear a citywide closure is next.
The morning routine at PS 89 hasn't changed since the Battery Park City School reopened. With temperature checks and health screenings, many parents saying precautions are working, but still fearing a citywide closure is on its way.
But as the infection rate at schools are very low.
The schools are doing a great job, and I think everybody's doing the best they can.
In person is much more impactful and empowering for the children than being at home. I can't do what the teachers do.
Staten Island Catholic schools have already gone fully remote, something 4th grader Pedro Klotz doesn't want to switch back to.
Because I could see my friends.
Mayor Bill de Blasio is tracking the city's increasing COVID positive rate. If it goes above 3%, he will be forced to shut down schools across the city. It's now at 2.83%.
We are making preparations as a result.
He said today parents should get ready.
Have an alternative plan for beginning as early as Monday. If we get to that point, then the goal is to bring them back as quickly as possible.
Last night, the school's chancellor sent guidance letters to principals to prepare them, saying he believes it will be, quote, a brief time of fully remote learning system-wide. The teachers union is sticking to a smaller percentage than the state standard of 9% because city schools have a higher density.
3% is a hard and fast number. This is all part of a plan. And remember, we had independent medical experts who helped us put this plan together.
This comes as restaurants, bars, and gyms across the state have a new daily closing time starting today, 10 p.m. This man says at least it's not as bad as his family has it in Italy under lockdown.
Much more freedom and liberty that we have here than the tight restrictions that there are elsewhere.
In Connecticut, the positive rate is 4.8%. Hospitalizations have doubled in the last 2 weeks, and the New Jersey governor has a warning for those who say face coverings aren't comfortable.
You know what's really uncomfortable and annoying? When you die.
The financial impact of the coronavirus pandemic continues to take its toll on millions of Americans. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are working round the clock to try and get a relief package passed before the end of the year. But some senators still have concerns. Ray Bogan has the latest.
Members of Congress are putting the finishing touches on a $908 billion coronavirus relief bill introduced last week.
We don't have a choice now. It's one of those things that has to be done.
The bill will offer an extra $300 a week in unemployment benefits, freeze evictions for people unable to pay their rent, and provide more funding for the Paycheck Protection Program.
This is not a stimulus bill, it is a relief bill, and it's something for the next 3 to 4 months to help those in greatest need.
The Democrats have always wanted a larger number, but we were told we couldn't get anything through the Republicans except at the $900 billion level. So we worked to that number.
But like all compromises, there are those who think it doesn't go far enough. Senator Bernie Sanders does not support it because a repeat of the $1,200 payments for Americans plus $500 per child are not included.
We need direct payments. Let us be clear. What we have right now are people suffering in a way economically that we have not seen since the Great Depression.
Congressional leadership says coronavirus relief will likely be included in a government spending bill, which they need to pass by Friday to avoid a government shutdown. Ray Bogan, Fox News.
Another setback in President Trump's effort to overturn the election results. A federal court in Michigan ruling against the latest lawsuit aiming to overturn the results in that state. The judges shutting down efforts led by disavowed former Trump advisor Sidney Powell. In its scathing opinion, the court held that the suit was full of, quote, nothing but speculation and conjecture. The opinion also read in part, quote, the people have spoken. Powell and her clients were trying to force the state's electors to vote for Trump, even though Joe Biden won in Michigan. Trump's campaign and allies have lost or withdrawn about 40 cases and prevailed in one case in Pennsylvania concerning absentee voters. The New York State Thruway Authority approved hikes for drivers for the upcoming year. Current Easy Pass customers will not be impacted, according to officials. However, drivers without an Easy Pass will see tolls increase by 30%. New York toll roads have gone cashless since November, so motorists are required to keep their address up to date with the DMV, so toll bills are sent to their proper owner. The toll hike kicks in on January 1st. Still ahead tonight, concerns over COVID-19 have reduced routine checkups at dental offices across the U.S.
There's a lot of close links to dental problems for people who take antidepressants. It could just have lots of negative effects on your mouth.
Hear from a dental expert who says he's seeing more pandemic-related dental problems ahead.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Kim Walker with your weather update. A trough of low pressure digs southward through the region, and so that's going to leave us with cold air for your Tuesday. Northwest winds will be coming in, and that's going to cause those temperatures to feel even colder. High pressure will ensure that that cool air will stick around through the middle of the week, but then toward the end, I'm expecting much warmer conditions. But tomorrow, it is going to start off well below freezing with readings in the 20s. But the good news is we'll see plenty of sunshine during the day, but it does very little to our warming. In fact, temperatures in the afternoon will only be in the mid-30s, and then we drop down to around 30 degrees by 5 o'clock, and then by 7, it looks like we could plummet down into the 20s. So it's going to be quite a cold day. A few flurries remaining for tonight, and then moving into around 7 o'clock in the morning, there could be a few more flurries that pop up, dying down through the rest of the day, and I think we're going to stay pretty dry. And then another disturbance comes in for the middle of the week. Is going to increase our cloud cover, and it is going to leave us with a few snow showers across our area as well. But then by the end of the day on Wednesday, most of this activity will be tapering off, and we should see a warming trend for the end of the week. In fact, temperatures will be about 10 degrees warmer than normal from Friday into Saturday, but then we have another system that will bring those temperatures back down by the end of the weekend. It is going to be quite cold tonight. Temperatures dropping down to around 21 degrees in Corning, 24 degrees in Elmira. Lots of clouds, and it is going to be flurrying, or just a few flurries that will be across our area. A breezy day tomorrow. Temperatures around 39 degrees in Corning, 37 degrees in Elmira. It will be gusty at times. In addition to that, there could be a few isolated snow showers. Your 7-day forecast calls for that snow chance on Wednesday. However, as temperatures warm up by the afternoon, some of that will be mixing in with rain, and then those clouds will stick around for your Thursday, but it will be a little bit warmer with highs around 43 degrees, 46 on Friday, and it looks like we could be back into the 50s by the start of the weekend with increasing cloud cover. The warmth also comes before the storm system. So we have yet another storm system that will arrive by the end of the weekend. Chances of rain will start to increase. We start off around 42 degrees. 46 will be our afternoon high, and because of those temperatures, The precipitation will fall as rain. However, with that cold front coming in, those temperatures will be diving down by Sunday night into the 30s. So if there's any moisture left over, that could be switching over to snow. And then it's going to be chilly on Monday with a high of 40 degrees.
Concerns over COVID-19 have postponed some of those routine dental and health checkups we typically get throughout the year. But now as people start returning to the dental chair, dentists are seeing a whole host of new problems. Mandy Gaither has today's Health Minute.
If you're feeling stress over the pandemic, it's likely your mouth is too. Atlanta dentist Dr. Travis Watson says his patients are having some pandemic-related dental problems.
There's a lot of close links to dental problems for people who take antidepressants and can just have lots of negative effects on your mouth. It actually decreases saliva flow, so we see lots of opportunistic cavities in patients who are on antidepressants. We've also seen an increasing amount of patients who've presented with headaches and jaw aches that are directly related to grinding or clenching of the teeth, which we know has a strong correlation with emotional stress.
If you're concerned about going back to your dentist, ask questions beforehand.
What safeguards do they have on entry into the office? For example, is there, a questionnaire, and, are they very careful about admitting patients that have any symptoms? And also, does the office have the proper PPEs?
Dr. Watson says oral health affects overall health and shouldn't be ignored.
The evidence shows that gum disease has a direct correlation with heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, and many other, medical, problems.
A Tulsa woman says she took dozens of COVID-19 tests after experiencing symptoms, but just one of those tests actually came back positive. Jameson Kiefover has this report.
Don't trust a negative COVID test. If you have the symptoms, especially that loss of taste and smell, you have to stay home.
A message to others about inaccurate testing. Staying home to quarantine, although she tested negative 3 times for the virus, all while having symptoms, even losing her sense of taste and smell.
I immediately knew this is COVID. As odd as this sounds, it was almost like I was fortunate to have that symptom so that I knew for sure that I was doing the right thing.
She reached out to her primary doctor for a 4th test.
I said, what would you think about me doing another PCR test, but through your clinic? She's like, well, I don't know. We could try it, but really, usually they're pretty effective. I was pretty insistent, though. I knew in my gut I had it.
Going online to share her experience, on day 12 of having symptoms, she received her positive results.
Generally kind of a private person, but I thought, you know what? People really need to know that just because you test negative does not mean that you do not have COVID and that you cannot be potentially cause someone else to get it as well.
Although testing has become more common and a vaccine will be available soon, the Oklahoma Department of Health reminding everyone to do whatever it takes to stop the virus.
Everyone should continue to wear a mask, wash their hands, and watch their distance as ways to truly prevent the spread of the coronavirus.
And a reminder to stay home if you have any symptoms.
Listen to your gut. Know when you're sick and when you need to stay home. And just because you get that negative test doesn't mean that you're negative.
Holiday sales are surging, and that's helping boost people's spirits and retailers' bottom lines during this pandemic. Tom Foreman reports.
The holiday rush is on at the Owens house in Virginia. More decorations, more weeks ahead of the celebration,
lighted reindeer,
and more coming.
I went out of my way and spent money that I wouldn't normally because we're not traveling.
Coast to coast, countless others appear to be doing the same, charging into Christmas, Hanukkah, pick your holiday like never before. From this holiday shop in California,
with everything people have been through this year, from not only COVID but murder hornets, goodness, we're ready for some joy.
To this tree farm in Oregon where sales are 5 times higher than usual. While some businesses remain shut down by the virus, others are reporting early and sustained surges.
You can't have a Christmas without a Christmas tree, so we're getting it started today.
in Illinois.
I have never seen anything like this.
This family started building their light display 3 months ago, thrilling local crowds.
Because of COVID-19, I mean, we're all stuck in the house. I mean, Santa might just be wearing a mask in your house.
And at this garden center in Maryland, the calendar has been racing forward with a jingle.
So normally you don't switch over to Christmas until November, but this year it was October.
It was very early. Gosh, we noticed that right away people were purchasing Christmas merchandise because we can't spend as much time doing the things we used to, whether it be retail or restaurants or travel. They want to make the home feel like a special place to be.
All that enthusiasm may really pay off, with holiday spending predicted to rise as much as 5% higher than last year, a big boost to businesses hit by the pandemic slump. And some psychologists say it can be pretty good for the rest of us too. The lights, the decorations, the whole holiday vibe can lift spirits like nothing else.
I am assembling our fake 3-piece Christmas tree.
So if you haven't hauled out the holly, you might get busy because the socially distanced party has already started.
There's one thing that COVID cannot take from us, and it's definitely the Christmas spirit.
An amazing act of kindness and an amazing display of courage. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Baby, it's cold outside, but these feel-good stories are guaranteed to warm your heart. 11-year-old Elijah Maines couldn't believe it when he found a brand new basketball goal in his driveway.
I was really just shocked. I was like, my mind was racing.
But this wasn't just a hoop dream, it was a real-life random act of kindness. You see, for months, FedEx driver Aubrey Robinson says while making deliveries, she saw Elijah playing b-ball on a bent and busted hoop. So one day, while the family was away, she made a special delivery, setting up a brand new goal for the boy and leaving behind a note.
It says, just wanted you and your son to have the best hoop that will grow with him and all of his friends.
Elijah's mother says she was moved by the gesture, which came at a time of financial strain. Now the family hasn't just gained a new hoop, they've gained a new friend. Aubrey says she stops by to play ball with Elijah whenever she's passing through. A high school basketball game in Ohio got an inspired start when, after the gym's sound system failed, a player's dad mustered the courage to sing the national anthem himself. Trenton Brown says he's been singing his whole life, but had never done the anthem solo. When the sound system failed, his wife encouraged him to fill in. A friend who captured the video said it was an emotional moment and said Brown saved the day. He later shared the video online, where it started going viral. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. A middle school shop teacher from New Jersey getting a new car as a way to honor him for helping make thousands of masks. 26-year-old Jason Eardrish knows how to work with his hands since he teaches woodworking, manufacturing, and robotics. So when PPE was in short supply, he felt he could help. He set up 15 3D printers in his living room and started printing masks around the clock, also teaching others how to do it, and they produced more than 12,000 pieces of PPE. Idrish is one of 50 people who has been honored by Mazda with a special edition Miata. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.